Welcome to Jade's Creative Corner. I hope to welcome you to the creative family. I went into TK Maxx recently and I saw this stunning doll. How beautiful are the rainbow high dolls? She was in the sale and I thought she would be the perfect upcycling project. I have been watching a lot of people upcycle dolls on YouTube and I felt inspired. One of my favourite content creators is April Rose Art, and she upcycles them into like monster themed dolls, and I just love her style. Although my style might be slightly different to that. She was definitely my motivator in starting this project. I was exploring ideas for this doll, and I finally settled on the idea of Gaia, the mother of all life and energy. I wanted to incorporate themes of energy and birthing life into things, using a lot of inference from Mother Nature too. I start here by acetoning her face and removing all of the foundational makeup. I use epoxy here to begin to sculpt a third eye. This is my first time using epoxy, so it was a little bit more fiddly than I expected. However, it did end up settling in a way that I felt like I was happy with. Here I decided that I needed it to merge into the face a bit more, so it needed an upper and a lower eyelid. Here I begin adding the chakra points. Because I want her to signify growth and life and energy, here I began to start to formulate some mud where I was going to have some sort of plant growing from this mud. I eventually settled on some tiny leaves growing out of this little mud mound. Here I started giving her a wire skirt that I could epoxy up eventually, but I decided after a while that I didn't like the idea of it as a skirt, so I decided instead to make her a little flower skirt. The original skirt that I was making with wire, I later decided that I'm going to use this as a wooden cape where there is going to be flower garments attached. Here I'm just building this up with epoxy. Pulling it in different directions so that it has a wood-like effect when it is eventually dry and I get to paint it. Here I'm just making sure it falls right. I begin to make a tiny little butterfly. However, if you watch closely, you might notice that the butterfly sadly gets squished. So I end up having to remake this later on in the video where I don't make it on screen. Poor little butterfly. Here, again using epoxy, I begin to create a bodysuit made of leaves. This turned out way cuter than I expected it to. Around the back of the doll, it is more of a flat surface, but I added a bit of texture to make sure that it looks maybe a little bit mossy rather than just out of the theme of nature. Can you see my sad little butterfly? I didn't want to cut the bit out where the butterfly was destroyed because I thought that it's always nice when I watch people's crafts videos and I realise that we all make mistakes. No one's perfect, we don't always get things right the first time. And mistakes often teach us more than what goes right. There are many things that I learned from doing this first project in this way. This flower skirt, I ended up extending it out with extra petals because it just felt like it was a bit too small. Here I'm using a fabric top, cutting it down so that it will fit inside the flower and give it a better secure base. And then off screen I use a glue gun to secure it. Here is the finished project. How cute is this skirt? I already love her so much at this point. Does anybody else love this sort of thing? Because I absolutely love it. So here is her cape that was originally going to be her skirt. Here I begin balling up foil to create some planets for her staff. It's easier to use foil for the centre so that you're not having to use all of your epoxy. A little tip here is use water so it doesn't all stick on your fingers. I learnt this the hard way. Now that bit's done, I begin to move on to making her staff. This staff, I decided to just actually use a twig. Me and my son went for a walk and he likes to collect things and he collected this particular twig. And I thought that would be perfect for the staff. So that is exactly what I'm using. I feel like it's really fitting with the theme as well. Here I'm cutting it at an angle so that when I glue it on, it stays secure. So here I begin to add the planets. The middle planet didn't go as planned. The ring around the planet just would not stay in position, so I end up scrapping the idea and just making it into a round ball like the rest of them. On reflection, I definitely think that I probably should have just put some wire in, but we live and we learn. Now on to my favourite bit, the painting. I decided for her eyes that I wanted it to again symbolise the planet. I also wanted it to be in alignment with the chakra colours. So her eyes, I used the colours of our planet, obviously the green and the blue, but on the middle eye I use a yellow as a base, but then I use blue lining and purple lining on the top. Here I begin to colour in the chakras, and I think it's starting to look really cute at this point. These are the lines that I was talking about. Here I begin to add the detail work in, so that when you look closer, it looks a little bit more realistic. Now painting the leaves, I decided that I wanted the kind of central part of that crossover around the chakras to have a little bit of a lighter glow to it, and then the leaves to also have kind of a multi-tone to them. I forgot to mention a little bit earlier on, to stabilise the staff, I actually added some epoxy as well to the joints of it, just to make sure that it didn't break. Here, painting the sticks for her cape. I wanted to add a little eyelash on there just because her actual eyes that she had on originally do have eyelashes, so I just thought that it would fit in with the theme. I begin by painting her boots green. I don't do much to these boots this time other than paint them and then cover them in Mod Podge, but I think that on any future projects I probably will upcycle those boots too. Here I unpick her hair. I knew from the mum that I got her that I wanted her to have an afro. I decided that I wanted to add some twine, wrapping around her arms and her legs. Also, her third eye is white currently in this video because I have Mod Podged the eyes to make them have a glossy-like finish. I realised that this bit gets really messy. I think on reflection I'm probably one of the messiest artists on YouTube. Everyone else is so pristine and neat. Maybe I can work on that. I decided that I wanted her hair to be green, like the planet, and fitting in theme with giving life and the forest. I decided though as I began this that I quite liked the purple peeping through. It sort of starts to look like highlights, and I'm here for it. I think personally she's giving real Gaia vibes. Even maybe a little bit Moana. Which I love, by the way. Has anybody watched number 2 yet? Oh wow. I thought it was as good, if not maybe better than the first one. Maybe that's a controversial opinion. This is an idea that I had right at the beginning, which was to add flowers to her afro. And just general growth and just general life forms in all forms. So leaves, flowers, lots of the other things that I did create along the way, I kind of created as I kind of went along. I think in future I would like to create an idea, maybe concretely before I start a project, but that being said, I'm still happy with how it turned out. Here I'm giving her some life veins. I wanted them to be in gold so that they look like veins of light and veins of like life. Like an internal glow where she is exchanging her positive energy. I glue this back on and here is the finished project. I love her. I think she is perfect. She is better than I envisioned. She is everything that I love about the world. And for me, she is Gaia, the creator of life and the creator of energy. I hope you love her as much as I do. I would love to know your thoughts. Here she is in her natural habitat. I hope everybody loves her and loves the details of her and what she signifies and what she stands for. If you have any other ideas for what dolls you would like to see, please do let me know. I think my next idea is going to be the finder of forgotten wonders. I want her to maybe find objects that people maybe discard, lose, or possibly grow out of. I think this is a cute idea, but please do let me know your ideas. Don't forget to join the family. See you soon.